tricks to make your makeup life just a little bit easier. Number 1. When you're using a makeup sponge, you want it to be damp, but you don't want it to be wet. The best thing to do is to take that makeup sponge, squeeze as much of the water out of it, and put it in a towel and squeeze the life out of it. You will have the perfect amount of dampness. You know how foundation just settles in on these lines, and sometimes it gets so dry that no matter what you do, you can't get it out? Well, here's my trick. A toothbrush. Now, hear me out. First, you want to get a very soft toothbrush. Now, I got this one actually at Dollar Tree. It's so soft. But you can also use a baby toothbrush. Yes, this has Tigger on it. Take your fine lines and just rub it through it just like that, and you will be amazed how this will take out all that extra foundation gathered in there, and it will just soften up those lines. If you struggle with getting mascara on your eyes every time that you use your mascara, put your mascara on by looking completely down onto a mirror. That way your lashes are angled downward and you're putting them up. It's not going to get onto your lid. Of course, let them dry a little bit before you raise your eyes, or else it will. Another use for this, so another trick, is to use this to take off mascara if you've gotten it in places you don't want it. I've actually recommended you using a spoolie. This is a spoolie. A spoolie is great, but a spoolie is actually a little bit rough when it comes to your lids right here. It just feels a little bit more rough. But if you use a very soft toothbrush, it's a little bit softer and it will still do the trick. If you're feeling like you curl your lashes and they don't actually curl very easily, a trick that has been used for years is to warm your lash curler up with your blow dryer. That will make it kind of like a curling iron. Now be careful, don't burn yourself, but warm it up just a bit, then go in and do one eye, warm it up again, and then go in and do the other eye. And your lashes will curl just a little bit easier, and they will stay curled a little bit longer. I always apply my mascara after my face has actually been done. It's one of my last steps. But the problem is I will use my cheek as leverage to be able to hold it still so I don't pull my lashes. But then this part right here gets on my cheek and will leave a mark. I'll take one of these puffs. I get them off of Amazon. They're actually really good. To take it and to place it right where your cheek is, and you're going to use that to put this right on the puff, and then go ahead and curl your lashes. What that will do is this will prevent this from making a mark on your face. I love that trick. You know when you're putting on mascara and while you're doing it you see a lash that is sticking out that you got in there from previous use? It's so annoying because that will sometimes get onto your eyelashes, or it will distribute mascara where you don't want it to be. One of the best practices you can do is to get yourself one of these lash combs. This is one of my favorite. It's from Tweezerman. I got it on Amazon. Before I start applying my mascara, I will curl my lashes, and then I will take this and then just run it through my lashes and then go in with my mascara. If you are putting on your mascara and you just get too much, sometimes your hand just twitches, or it's a new mascara and you don't know how to apply it yet, and then all of a sudden you've got your lashes all clumped together and very unattractive. Use this while your lashes are still wet. Now the best thing to do is to put it there and then blink it closed. Don't go like this. Put it in place, blink. Put it in place, blink. I love a good setting spray to be able to set my makeup, but I do not like it getting onto my hair. So another trick that I use if I'm really careful about my hair, especially when I've curled it like today, I will go ahead and spray my sponge and just lift it and then just put it exactly where I want it to be. And that way I am not getting setting spray all over my hair. You're struggling with getting all the little fine hairs around your eyebrows to be able to pluck them. Grab your old, more dried up brow gel, run that the opposite direction of your hair direction, and it will get all those little hairs and you'll be able to see them and pluck them. I did an entire video all about this I'll link it below. When you're plucking your eyebrows, if you really struggle to be able to get them to come out by the entire root, which is what you want, or it's just going to grow back faster, then go extremely slow. Grab the hair with your tweezers, push it against your skin, and pull very slow. You'll see it pull out with the root at the end of it. And you know what? It really doesn't hurt as much as you think it's going to. If you're worried about getting too much powder on an area, take your setting powder, use your dampened sponge and work it into your hand. Put a little bit more, work it into your hand, and then go ahead and use it wherever you need to. You won't have anywhere near as much powder on it. That same trick holds true for a brush. Take your brush, work it into the powder, and then use your hand and kind of work it into it, and then you can use it wherever you need it, and it won't be as much powder. When you're using a cream blush and you're not sure how strong it's going to be, take your brush, stipple it in, put it on your hand a little bit. You'll see how strong it is, and then you can go in and put it on your cheek. Just keep doing that until you get your desired amount. Sometimes after you've applied all of your foundation, you'll see flaking skin that's lifting up off of your face, and you want to get it off. Don't sit there and scrape it like this. First off, you will ruin your makeup. And the second, it's actually harmful for your skin. So what you want to do is just take a tweezer, easily just lift off, not scraping anymore, and it will not disrupt your makeup. Of course, I cut my eyebrows periodically because one or two of them will just get very long. But I want to be careful to not cut my brows too much, of course. So to be able to have control when I'm cutting my eyebrows, I will use a spoolie. I will push the spoolie up against my head, and then I will take scissors. These are great scissors because they're made for cutting small little hairs, and I will push this against my forehead and then cut. If everything is pushed against my head, I have the control I need and I don't make any horrible mistakes and come out with very short eyebrows. That would be bad. Eyeliners work best if they are a little bit warmed up, especially those that are on the dry side. Remember in the 80s when we used to use a lighter and warm it up that way? I remember literally putting it on a light bulb. So there would be all these little dots of brown eyeliner on my light bulb. My dad used to be like, what are you doing here? We don't have to do that as much anymore. There's much better products out there. But just in case you are using one that is a little bit more dry, there's a couple tricks that you can do. One is to just take it and kind of rub it against your hand and to warm it up that way. The only problem with that is that you've now wasted that eyeliner. If it's a cheaper eyeliner, you may not care, but if it's a more expensive one, you're gonna care. So another trick is to take it with the lid on, and I will cross my legs and I will put it between my two legs, let it sit there the whole time I'm putting all my other makeup on. By the time I'm ready to go ahead and use that eyeliner, it'll be nice and warm and it will be a little bit more smooth going on. You also can use your blow dryer and just kind of warm it up that way. If you've put your bronzer on or you've put your blush on and you're like, okay, that was a little bit strong, take your sponge that you put your foundation on and then just dab it over that area, and this is pretty much an eraser. You can also use a stands out sponge. This is one of my favorite sponges for after everything is done, and I will just press this in and it will just collect all the extra stuff and smooth things out. If you have a foundation that happens to be a little bit too thick or too dry, put this foundation on some kind of palette. I use this candlestick holder that I got from IKEA, and I just put a dollop of how much I want on that. And then I will take an oil. One of my favorite oils is from The Ordinary. This is the rose hip seed oil. And I will take a drop or two. I would start out less, so just do one drop. Use some kind of product to mix it in. I just use a Q-tip, and then that will kind of thin out that product and also make it a little bit more hydrating. I used to always struggle with knowing if a product was out of date or not. Many times on the back of a product, most times it will have a date it is good. That date is from the moment that you've purchased it and opened it and started using it, not from the moment that they made it. Write the date right next to where it is so that you can know that is when you purchased it, and you'll know when it's going to go bad. 1 year from that. If you want more tricks to make foundation just a little bit easier to apply, I've done a video and I'm going to link it right there. Maybe I will see you over on that video or another one. God bless.